Applique layering is a great way to add depth and texture to your embroidery projects, and it's fun to use different fabrics as the base for your embroidery. In this video, I'll be showing you two techniques for applique layering, so you can choose which is best for your project. I'll be using 3 pieces of cotton fabric, one for the sky, one for the horizon and the foreground of my design. A hoop, an embroidery needle, sharp scissors, 100% cotton stranded embroidery thread like DMC Moulinet Special, pins and an iron and a heat-proof surface. The fabric I'm using is pre-printed with an embroidery design, but if you are using plain fabric, transfer your design in the usual way before you begin. Let's look at the basic technique first. We're going to start with the white fabric that you will use for the foreground. We're going to carefully cut away the top section along the tree line. Yes, it does mean that we are cutting through the trees. Now we're layering it over the blue fabric so it will become the middle layer. Make sure that the design is lined up, and then I find it really useful to pin this in place. Use a single strand of embroidery thread to stitch a row of running stitches just below the raw edge of the white fabric to hold the 2 layers together. We're going to cut away the top of the middle layer in this design, and that's where the mountains meet the sky. Then place these layers on the pink fabric that you are using for the sky. And again, carefully line up the embroidery design on the pieces. As before, stitch a row of running stitches just below the raw edge. Now you're ready to embroider the design. This applique layering method leaves the raw edges, which you can then cover with your stitching, or you can leave visible. Depending on the design, a raw or even a frayed edge can add interest. On this design, I'm adding the snow to the mountain tops to hide the raw edge of the applique layer. Using 2 strands of the white Moulinet Special, I'm working a satin stitch to stitch the snow. If you prefer a knee to edge, you can use an invisible seam to join your applique layers. To use an invisible seam, start with the pink fabric and using 1 strand of Moulinet Special, work a row of running stitches following the dotted line. This line is just below the line of the pattern that you are going to cut. Then carefully cut about 8 mm below the line of the stitching, and when you've done this, you set it to one side. Repeat the process for the blue fabric. You're going to put running stitches along the top and also along the bottom. When you have done that, you're then going to cut 8mm above the line of the running stitches at the top and 8mm below the running stitches at the bottom. Where there are deep curves like these mountains, cut notches into the fabric. Then stitch on the white fabric, stitch along the dotted line and then cut 8mm away from the dotted line. Next you're going to fold back 8mm of the fabric along the lines of the stitching. You will need to do this for all fabric pieces and then press to hold in place. Match up the design and pin so the folded edges meet. Use a single strand of embroidery thread and with your needle parallel to the folded edges, make small stitches all the way along. Now finish stitching the pieces together and have pressed the seams so that both edges are folded in the same direction. Put the joined fabric in your hoop. And now you're ready to add your embroidery stitches. Work the snow using satin stitch and 2 strands of Moulinet Special.